Now at 5, heat and storms having an impact today. How about the weekend? I'll have your forecast.
Plus, it's Brickyard weekend.
We're catching up with drivers and fans at today's rained out practice.
It was another scorching day at Colts training camp. Day 3 done. We're going to focus on the big uglies up front, the guys in the trenches, the offensive linemen. We're going to hear from them coming up in sports.
Well, we have had a few showers today, including this one. A downpour in downtown Indy happened about 1:30 this afternoon.
Yeah, it was so dark you could barely see the skyline there. We did see some relief after the rain, but not for long.
Angela's here. She's helping us get our expectations together this weekend so we know how to plan.
Yes, expect more of the same and have a backup plan for the heat and the storms. Much like they did today, those storms will interrupt outdoor plans. Wasn't very good news for the Brickyard today. We'll hear more about that in a few minutes. Ann and Felicia mentioned the relief. Yes, a little relief instead of feeling like the triple digits because we've had rain and storms in Marion County. It feels like 88. Where we haven't had the storms, still feels like well over 100. Feeling like 102 in Bloomington, 104 in Seymour, and 106 in Bedford. You can see the storms that are left now, mainly east and southeast of Indianapolis. We continue to keep an eye on a stronger cell that is coming out of Logansport. This is headed southeast toward those of you in Peru. A damaging wind threat and a heavy rain threat with that cell. We also have some cells in and around Greensburg, moving toward Franklin, and some scattered storms pushing just east of Clay City. So a pop-up storm or two still possible this evening. Otherwise warm and muggy if you're coming downtown for baseball at Victory Field. Colts camp tomorrow will be dodging a few storms. Very humid day, highs in the low 90s.
Thank you, Angela. And tonight there's a search for more people who may have been victims of a Madison County man accused of committing crimes against children.
Our Marina Silva spent this day looking into the case, joining us live in studio. And Marina, I understand you just spoke to the prosecutor who told you how police have learned of these additional allegations.
Yes, well, it started with the Hamilton County Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force getting a tip from actually Ohio that led them to this man here in Indiana. And it started with a months-long investigation into Alex Hedgie. A task force detective arrested him this week on several child sex crimes. Those crimes include allegedly molesting a 7-month-old girl. Hedgie is a registered behavioral therapist who worked with children who have autism in Anderson. However, he no longer works there, and investigators have not linked any crimes to the place where he worked.
Incredibly concerning when we learned that information, but not surprising. People who engage in these activities often gravitate towards those kind of places and find more opportunities.
The task force and the prosecutor's office is asking anyone who believes their child was around Hedgie to contact them. So far, the prosecutor has not officially charged Hedgie. They're expecting that next week, but he is under arrest.
Marina Silva reporting this afternoon. Thank you. And tonight, Metro Police are investigating a deadly shooting on the south side of Indy.
This was first reported as a crash around 12:45. It happened on Griffin Road near US 31 in Southport. When police got there, however, they found that there was a man who was shot inside a car. He went to the hospital in critical condition and later died.
Police at the scene say they were told about a suspicious person in a yard nearby. They believe that person is involved in this shooting, but at last check, they were still looking for them.
We believe it's a very isolated incident. I believe at this time, but we don't have any information for sure on this, but I do believe at this time that our victim was more than likely meeting someone in here. And to be honest, my guess is that neither or any of the parties involved more than likely did not live in this neighborhood.
Police say they found multiple shell casings along Griffin.
And they're asking anyone who may have information about this to call Crime Stoppers right now.
Tonight, a Lafayette man is waiting to learn when he will be sentenced in the death of his cousin's 4-year-old. A Tippecanoe County jury found Montrell Jolly guilty of neglect of a dependent resulting in catastrophic injury, aggravated battery, and battery resulting in death. However, the jury told the judge it could not reach a unanimous decision on the murder charge. Prosecutors are deciding if they will refile the murder charge separately.
The Marion County Coroner's Office has identified the 22-year-old woman who drowned in the Eagle Creek Reservoir. A 911 caller said that Amaya Haas dove into the water from a boat last night near the Rick's Boatyard Cafe and then never came back up. Several agencies responded and looked for her. Then when rescue efforts were called off, Indiana DNR officers and divers took over. They recovered her body just after 10 last night.
Tonight, a man is under arrest accused of exposing himself in public.
And reportedly, it's not the first time he's been accused of this crime. Cameron Greenwood is facing preliminary charges of indecent exposure after a woman says that he exposed himself to her in a parking lot along East 16th Street yesterday.
This week's arrest comes 3 days after he was released from the Marion County Jail for criminal trespass. A search for public court records shows he's been charged at least a half dozen times for public nudity and indecency.
Tonight, 8 men are under arrest. They're accused of various charges of drug charges in the Bloomington area. Police also tell 13 News that more arrests are likely.
The arrests happened near Seminary Park. Officers say they've been focused on the area for several weeks. Bloomington Mayor Carrie Thompson says keeping the city safe is her top priority.
In fact, she released a statement saying in part, quote, "I will remain focused on ensuring that our most vulnerable are treated with dignity and respect, while also affirming our commitment to a better, safer Bloomington." All right, let's talk Colts. Training camp continues today at Grand Park, and the focus for day 3, the offensive line.
Our Eli Gain was there for another hot day at camp.
Welcome back into Grand Park. Day 3 of training camp for the Colts is done, and we are now moving ahead to day 4 on Saturday. Just some key things on this Friday from day 3. No real separation at the quarterback spot. I know that's what everyone's wondering at this point. Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson. Both just kind of doing their thing once again today. We saw Anthony Richardson take a lot of check down throws. Daniel Jones, maybe a little more chunk throws, but maybe want to see him get rid of the ball a little bit quicker. Let's focus on the offensive line. A lot of rotating pieces there as well, including a couple of second-year guys who were drafted together last season, Matt Gonsalves and Tanner Bortolini, who are both getting a lot of first-team reps together and learning on the fly as well in the trenches.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely new. So, yeah, we're both doing a great job, doing a good job communicating. Just playing with, different centers each day, Danny or Tanner. They're both doing a great job helping me out with communication, where to go, where to keep my eyes and stuff like that. So
the bar is high. We don't step in with the expectation of being any drop off. So it's been a challenge to be me and Matt both, but I think we're doing a great job at learning each day, getting better, finding one thing to improve upon, and doing our best for ourselves and the group.
So obviously those guys are focusing on what they have to do up front, but maybe something you don't think about very much is how do they think when they have to deal with a rotating quarterback situation? We're going to have much more on that coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, in Grand Park, I'm Eli Gain for 13 Sports.
All right, Eli asking the questions that we need answers to. Tomorrow is Back Together Saturday at Colts camp.
There will be no camp on Sunday, but the team will be back at Grand Park come Monday. You can check out the complete schedule. We have it posted for you right now. It's on our website.
Just scan this QR code here and it'll take you to WTHR.com/scene on 13. Continuing in sports, the Indy Motor Speedway was hot and dry almost all day.
Except for the time when the NASCAR drivers were scheduled to be out on the track. Key bad timing. Rich and I spent the day with fans and drivers trying to beat the heat and losing to the rain.
Lots of little NASCAR fans at the Speedway Friday.
I'm 4 years old and I have a baby sister on my house and I'm 4 years and she's 4
months.
And she's 4 months.
We just watched it and she started liking it and cheering for who we cheer for, and so then she wanted to come up today, and so we just figured we'd come up on one of the slower days and bring her up. Don't know if she's ready for the race yet, but she can make it through practice.
Hot fans, little and big.
Lots of water bottles, lots of ice, and you find the fan misters.
And you're always hot.
I'm always hot.
This IMS official merchandise tent is air conditioned. I think it's a great way to make people shop longer and probably buy more.
What's it like to be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? What do you think of this place?
Awesome.
What do you like about it?
Everything about it.
10-year-old J.L. Smith put on his driver's suit. So did the NASCAR Cup drivers. But just as they climbed in their cars, lightning in the area delayed practice. Multiple downpours not far behind canceled Cup practice altogether. Denny Hamlin has won 58 Cup races and stands 11th on the career wins list. He has won all of NASCAR's biggest races except the Brickyard 400.
Adding another crown jewel would be big, and then to have had them all swept to where we've done it all. I mean, certainly the names are very, very prestigious on that list, and so it would, it certainly would mean a lot to me.
Dad and daughter are cheering for Denny. Rich Knight, Track Team 13.
All right, if you want to go, the gates will open at 11 o'clock on Saturday, and the on-track activity will start at 1 p.m. Saturday with a full afternoon of practice, qualifying, and racing for both the NASCAR Xfinity and Cup Series.
This week, our Dominic Miranda caught up with driver Chase Briscoe.
You can watch the full interview when you go to WTHR Plus. It is free to download and watch. Hot temps make it a lot more difficult for athletes to train outside.
Local cyclists share how they're keeping cool training in the heat. That's at 5:30. Some brave souls going out in the heat, Angela.
Oh, for sure. It is steamy and stormy out there, and there is a severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Cass and northwestern Miami counties until 5:30. I'll have a closer look.
And President Trump heads overseas as the Epstein files continue to dominate headlines.
What we know about some key meetings with the Justice Department.